my name is Mackenzie Bennett, and I am doing a PowerPoint presentation on Leonardo da Vinci. There are many things that I find interesting about Leonardo da Vinci, and there are many more things that I have found out about him that interest me while doing this project. Da Vinci was considered a genius and leading light of the Italian Renaissance. He was born on April 15, 1452 in Vinci, Florence. He is well known and appreciated as an artist for his early accomplishments. When he was 14 years old, he started working with Andrea del Verrocchio, which was a famous Italian painter and sculptor in that time period. Leonardo da Vinci learned an abundance of skills with the time he spent with Verrocchio. An interesting fact not on the slide that I found was shown in the court records of Florence. Leonardo da Vinci was charged with sodomy, which is a form of intercourse, when he was 22 years old, and he was off the map for 2 years after that. I find that really interesting myself because the more I looked into that, people say that he was anonymously accused of sodomy, and some people think that he was gay, and he was 26 years old when he was accused of this. He was also the first person to draw an accurate sketch of the development of the human embryo with so much depth, with such little knowledge of knowing what it was really like. Also the famous leading light of the Italian Renaissance. He deceased May 2nd of 1519, and he lived a good 67 years. Here are a few famous artworks of Leonardo da Vinci. The Last Supper. In my opinion, there is so much to take in this picture. If you are a Christian and understand the Bible, this painting is very much appreciated. The painting gives us an image of what really happened at the Last Supper. The Last Supper was believed to be painted in 1495 through 98. The picture of this painting has been edited to see the whole image with more color. The original was in poor condition due to the experimental media in which Leonardo painted. It still focused on Jesus in the center, and that's what gets it across well. The Last Supper painting was out of the Bible when Jesus was telling all 12 of his disciples that one of them were going to betray him. You can tell by the facial expressions on the disciples that in this painting Jesus had just told them that. Also, I found that during this time when Da Vinci was working on this painting, he said the most difficult thing to paint was the intention of a man's soul. So you can see how deeply Leonardo da Vinci drowns himself into his masterpieces, which is why he is so famous today. This is a painting of the Madonna of the Carnation, painted in 1478 by Leonardo da Vinci. It is a painting of the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus in her lap. She is holding a carnation, or a type of flower, in her hand for some kind of healing. In this picture, you can tell that the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus are lightened up a lot better than the background of the picture, because the main purpose of the picture is what is in the Virgin Mary's hand, the carnation. The next most famous painting of Leonardo da Vinci is the Mona Lisa. This is the most known painting in the entire world. This painting is actually located in the Louvre Museum in Paris, France, and it was established in 1972, the museum. While painting the Mona Lisa, Da Vinci used the sfumato technique that he invented himself. The sfumato, meaning smoky in Italian, is when the outlines of an object are foggy-like the landscaping in the background of the Mona Lisa portrait. Sometimes this portrait is called La Gioconda because it is Italian. Leonardo da Vinci was a wise man. Here are a few quotes said by Da Vinci. He says, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." And I could not agree more with this due to the truth that it holds in 5 words. Sometimes people try to make things so complicated and it turns out to be too much. He also has a quote that reads, "Painting poetry that is seen rather than felt, and poetry is painting that is felt rather than seen." This is saying that words give emotion more in poetry, and that painting is more seen and described. Another states a painter should begin every canvas with a wash of black, because all things in nature are dark except when exposed by light. This quote immediately made me think of the Madonna of the Carnation, because the background is dark, which makes the painting really focus on the Virgin Mary and the baby Jesus, and the carnation that is placed in her left hand. The last quote states, "Art is never finished, only abandoned." I think this is very true, because you can always add more to it. There are many unfinished masterpieces in the world. Sometimes authors make work intentionally unfinished to add more meaning and make people think more about it. Leonardo da Vinci was not only a painter, but an inventor as well. He planted the root himself for many inventors made by other years later. Leonardo da Vinci drew sketches of parachutes, flying machines, and anemometers, scuba gear, and revolving bridges, and many more things. The parachute was later invented by Sebastian Lenormand in 1783, only with the help of da Vinci's sketches. The flying machine that da Vinci sketched was also never tested by himself. His imagination is incredible, although he knew that even if he got something flying in the air, he could not make it stay in the air with a heavy amount of weight. Also, he created the designs for anemometers, shown in the far right top picture. Anemometers measure wind force. One of his inventions that really interests me is the scuba gear that he designed for the Council of Venice. Because they lived in a city dependent of water, he figured he would sell his design as a war mechanism. So if Venice were to get attacked, the scuba gear would allow them to go underwater to drill holes into the bottom of boats, because that would mean less casualties for the city of Venice, and a way to stop others from even coming into the city before it is too late. He also created a design for revolving bridges, which is designed so that soldiers can easily pass through when need to. It was a lot less complicated for soldiers to find their way through an unfamiliar terrain. This is my works cited page. My works cited page includes the sources I used to provide myself with the information on Leonardo da Vinci. Thank you so much for watching my presentation.